Ninja Gaiden 4 is here, guys. I've been playing it last night for about 9 hours. I think I'm actually on like chapter 9, chapter 10, and I'm going to be brutally honest up front. I really don't think this is a good game. Good Ninja Gaiden game, good character action game, hard to say, but I really just don't think this is what the future should have been for Ninja Gaiden, and I'm going to state some of my reasons here in this video, and I've honestly got actually nothing really positive to say about this game. So if you don't want to hear any negative feedback about this game and you are actually enjoying it, maybe you should switch this video off right now, because this is coming from someone who's played Ninja Gaiden for 20 plus years. I absolutely love the other games. Maybe no 3 that much though, in all honesty. The first 2, in my opinion, are the best hack and slash games ever made by any game developer, and this is basically not an evolution of what Ninja Gaiden should have been, in my honest opinion. It's not like we weren't wary of the fact that Platinum Games were making this game. That was one of my number one concerns, as with a lot of people that heard about it. I don't really think Platinum make that good action hack and slash games anymore. I think they maybe did once upon a time, but everything that I hate about this game, I can honestly just put Platinum as like the main blame as to why I don't like this, why I don't like that, and I'll talk about some of them here. The number one thing I absolutely hate about this game as soon as I turned it on is standard Platinum level design. As far as I'm concerned, it's embarrassing. Crazy to think that a game that's 20 plus years old in Ninja Gaiden 1 has far superior level design than what Platinum are putting out in 2025. But that's just what you come to expect from a company like Platinum Games. As far as I'm concerned, the mainstream hack and slash developer that people consider the best cannot make any good levels whatsoever. I'm on chapter 9. Every level is forgettable as far as I'm concerned, you know? And people might even bring up games like Ninja Gaiden 2 and be like, oh, but the levels were all straight linear hallways in that game as well. That game had far superior variety than this game has at all. There's just absolutely nothing interesting about the environments. You move from one area to the next and they slightly look a little bit different. I honestly cannot believe how lazy they've been for this game, guys. This is supposed to be like a AAA game, and do they even have like a level designer at Platinum Games at all? To me, this is embarrassing. As far as Platinum are concerned, what makes level design to them is grinding on railings for the first couple of chapters to pad out their straight, narrow hallways. I honestly don't know who that's targeted towards. Is that targeted towards like mainstream gamers who are just going to be enamored by the, whoa, look at the graphics and look at the sight here, we're grinding on railings like Sonic Adventure? Who's it targeted towards? You're padding the level out with pointless garbage. Wouldn't they mind it once or something here and there? But they've done this several times within the first couple of chapters, and it just absolutely outstays its welcome. Platinum are pretty good at making things outstay their welcome, all about the flash. And for myself, that's exactly what I don't like about the combat. It's just flashy, and that's really all it has. As far as I'm concerned, the game's combat is actually repetitive. I don't really care about what weapon I'm using either, because they all kind of feel the same. I guess I do prefer the double swords, because it somewhat plays similar to like an old school Ninja Gaiden. But at the end of the day, there's absolutely no thought process going into the enemies while you're fighting them in this game. Because honestly, this game just feels like a mash fest as far as I'm concerned. And Platinum are really, really good at creating mash fests that look flashy to the average consumer. Platinum have always been good. Just look at Metal Gear Rise and Revengeance for stuff like that. That's not what Ninja Gaiden was all about for myself. Ninja Gaiden was all about prioritizing enemies, using certain weapons to take down certain enemies, overcoming the odds and feeling good about it. Every time I get through a mob in this game, I really feel nothing, and that's because to me the combat is just not satisfying whatsoever. It's boring. It's flashy for the sake of being flashy, and for me, far too repetitive to actually enjoy it. All I could think about while actually playing this game is how much I'd rather be playing Ninja Gaiden 1 or 2 and enjoying that combat far more. I've not even finished this game to play the so-called 20% that we play as Ryu Hayabusa. But to me, his combat, if it is better, is not going to save this game, because the other 80% is controlling this character here And to me, this combat is not good enough. It's just flashy for the sake of being flashy and does not satisfy me and does not feel like old school Ninja Gaiden combat. It just feels like generic action hack and slash game. There's so much stuff in this game that I think is absolutely terribly lazy by the devs that it's even a wonder that they went and done it. You know, there's actually like certain side objectives you get in the levels. You know, you go to the terminal, you collect a side objective within the levels. This is like generic stuff that they've put in here. Nothing has had thought put into it, you know? It's just generic missions, like where you kill 50 enemies with the weapons you've got equipped, capture 5 of the animals within these levels. Hopefully you find a little alcove that they're hid in. But honestly, if that's satisfying to people, please let me know. For a Ninja Gaiden game in 2025, I think they could have done a lot more. They could have had like a little hub where we go to places and talk to people and at least pick up some side quests there. Would have felt like there was more effort and presentation put into the game as a whole, rather than just a tick the box exercise, which is essentially what they've done here. As far as I'm concerned, this is absolutely lazy. And I'll also take this opportunity to hate on the way they've went about their weapon upgrade system. Newsflash, obviously I preferred how it was done in the original games. I think it's far better. You upgrade your weapons to level 2, 3 max, and you unlock more moves the more you upgrade the weapons, and you upgrade the damage of the weapons in the process. You don't even get a damage upgrade for your weapons in this game. No, so far I've seen no damage upgrade in this game. And the way they want you to go about getting new moves in this game is spend all your hard-earned gold throughout the levels on moves. And that's it. So it's no like they're rewarding the player for upgrading the weapons themselves, because they would actually expect in the old games for a player to go into the menu, look at the moves set of the weapons, and actually understand that there's new moves there for unlocking the next criteria of the weapon. But this game doesn't work that way. It's almost like what they've done is tried to target mainstream gamers again, who are maybe dumber than the average gamer, I don't know, and just be like, hey dumbass, this move costs 36 grand, so you have to check it. And then that gamer's like, oh yeah, because it costs 36 grand, I need to read this. But like in Ninja Gaiden 1 or 2, upgrading the weapon, they'd just be like, oh, there's that flash, but I don't know what it's done. You know, they wouldn't even care to like look at the move list about it. That's what it feels like to me. And as far as I'm concerned, it just takes away for the whole process of upgrading weapons. To me, it never feels like there's a power creep with the weapons whatsoever, because we don't get a damage upgrade. I just hate the weapon skill system in this game. I think it's boring, generic, garbage. There's just one more thing I gotta hate on here, guys, for this one. There is a serious yellow paint problem in this game. Now, I am all for accessibility options. You know, some people need help knowing where to go in games, and I like that they open up games to other people. But what I don't like is when there's not an option. Where's the accessibility option to turn off the yellow paint? You know, does that even get considered in development by you AAA developers, Platinum, and any developer who feels the need to put yellow paint in their games? There should be an option to turn it off for people who know where to go in a straight line. You know, I don't need to know where to go. It's very obvious that your game has 0 level design, so I don't need yellow paint splashed on the door, mate. We need an option to turn off the yellow paint for people that don't want it there, and I don't think they care. You've got so many options in your game to change the colour of doors to be like red for whatever reason, to make your game look even worse than it already is, but there's not an option to turn off the yellow paint. And I'm playing on hard mode for my first playthrough, and the fact that they expect me to take down all these hard enemies within the game, but somehow I don't know where to go in a straight line, is offensive to a lot of gamers, in my honest opinion. And I think I call this out to every developer: you got to give us the option to turn off the yellow paint. Let people keep it on who need it, but let people turn it off if they want. And I think we do need that going forward in gaming, because it's getting a bit ridiculous. I do have to address the fact as well that I've seen on the forums the past couple of days people saying the games are hard and that's what makes Ninja Gaiden Ninja Gaiden. And I've got to say, like, dudes, if that's what makes Ninja Gaiden to you, more power to you. But there is other things about games that have to be good, and I think that is actually what this game lacks. If you're missing all this other stuff, but your game's hard, does that just make it a good Ninja Gaiden game by default? To me, I personally don't think so. Guys, I've sat here for the past 10 minutes ranting. You know, ultimately I'm sad about Ninja Gaiden 4. I've basically sat here and I've said that the old games are amazing and that the new game's garbage. And that's fine with me. At the end of the day, games I think were better once upon a time, and there's a lot of trash in games these days, and I think this is a prime example of that. But the reality is, this game will satisfy a lot of new gamers who have never played a Ninja Gaiden game, or people that have only maybe played one Ninja Gaiden game. At the end of the day, I think this game will be enough for them, because they actually enjoy what Platinum Games put out, and Platinum put out generic hack and slash games, as far as I'm concerned. They are not going to be remembered as the pinnacle of hack and slash, because that's what Ninja Gaiden was known for once upon a time. And Ninja Gaiden 4 will not be known as the pinnacle of hack and slash going forward. I do hope there's a place for Ninja Gaiden going forward, and I hope they take the feedback, but it really depends if the mainstream audience outweigh the people speaking up about how the game actually is. As far as I'm concerned, Platinum are pretty bad developers in this day and age, and I hope they go under, because their games are terrible. What they should have at least done is have some respect for this series, but they've just created another game within an already existing IP, as far as I'm concerned. Like I say, guys, I hope you guys enjoy it for what it is. As far as I'm concerned, though, it's a wasted opportunity to make something truly amazing in Ninja Gaiden 4. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.